Police detectives were on 2 murder scenes this afternoon as homicides took place within an hour of each other. Police press liaison officer Chrislyn Skipping said that around 4:30 in the first incident, the victim was with a group of people at a car wash on the corner of Eden Street and Baldwin Avenue. The occupants of the vehicle reportedly fired shots, hitting the victim multiple times about the body. He died on the scene. Family members identify him as 28-year-old David D'Angelo Marshall, an entrepreneur who owned a car wash, and he was also the father of a 3-week-old baby. Inspector Skippings has made this appeal.
Painful. Yet a third young man from our country, his life has been snapped away so senselessly. I want to appeal to all young men in our country. This is our Bahamas. We've got to learn to resolve our conflicts differently. I want to encourage you, reach out to your pastor, reach out to community counseling and assessment unit, reach out to someone and get the help. We've got to stop this scourge.
Well, just an hour earlier, a shooting took place on Sugar Apple Street in Pinewood Gardens. Superintendent of Police Clayton Fernando tells us that the victim was at the front of a house when a gray car pulled up and a man exited the vehicle. Then an altercation ensued and the victim ran to the rear of the house where he was shot multiple times about the body. He died on the scene. Family members identify this man as 30-year-old Makino John Brown, a father who was recently married. Police are investigating both of these matters, murders number 49 and 50 for the year. They're asking anyone with information that may assist in the investigation to call them. Police are also investigating a murder from overnight. The shooting left a 28-year-old of Wolf Road dead. Initial police reports indicate that the victim was at the intersection of St. James and Kemp Roads around 12:30 this morning when he was approached by the occupants of a black Honda car and subsequently shot multiple times. The victim was taken to hospital by emergency personnel and he died just before 3 o'clock this morning. Police are investigating and again appealing to members of the public to come forward with any information that may assist in their investigation. Well, reports reaching our newsroom this morning indicate that C.H. Reeves Junior High School teachers were on strike today. When we arrived at the school, we were told that those teachers were meeting with Principal Greta Brown to discuss security concerns. According to Principal Brown, the teachers were concerned for their safety after an alleged stabbing incident at the school on Friday past.
We had an incident with one of our students stabbing another student on Friday, and we had to go on lockdown and call the police for them to do their thing. Before we were able, I'd promised to meet with the teachers to explain what had happened, but before we were able to call the meeting, we had another report that some of the boys who had escaped over the wall and who were involved with the stabbing had returned. So we had to call for another lockdown to secure the safety of the children and the teachers. And so the police, I think, were able to round up a few more of them. By the time that had happened, we had run out of time, school was out, and, after 3. So I told them we'll meet when we came back this week.
Now, Ms. Brown says law and order is maintained at the school, but she's asking stakeholders to help with the responsibility.
We want to be sure that all of our students are learning in a safe environment and that it is safe for our teachers, for our janitors, our security, for everybody. And so when something like this happens, it causes us to pause and examine the systems that we have in place, see where we can shore up and strengthen up, and do whatever it is we need to do in order to ensure the safety of all of those 1,000 plus persons on this campus.
Quick response by firefighters put a damper on a blaze at the Sandyport development this afternoon. Authorities say they got the call shortly after noon and arrived on the scene within minutes. When they got there, the top floor of a 3-story condominium was on fire. Fortunately, the fire didn't spread and no other units were affected. Charged 31-year-old Carville Road resident Pt.2 in connection with that housebreaking on Coxway off East Street back on May 2nd. Pritchard is allegedly one of two men who attacked police officers with knives while they were responding to that housebreaking. Another 32-year-old man involved in the incident allegedly was shot by police and died of his injuries. Meantime, court papers allege that Pritchard and another person broke into the home of Patrick Clark off Coxway, assaulted him with a knife, and allegedly threatened to kill him. The case has been adjourned.
Welcome to tonight's edition of the Business Beat, sponsored by Royal Fidelity. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Altaviz Munnings. Let's take a look at what's making business news today.
City Market's principal, Mark Finlayson, told the local Daily that he was aiming to close the sale of its remaining 4 New Providence stores to Super Value by this Friday, or, quote, Monday at the latest. He urged the urgency coming from his attorney likely taking up a post in the new Progressive Liberal Party government. Finlayson also informed the local Daily that there were, quote, no issues holding up the proposed deal between himself and Super Value's president, Rupert Roberts. Bahamas Telecommunications Company officials activated 4G services in Bimini and the Berry Islands today, unleashing faster speeds on all wireless devices and making it possible for customers to tap into better services and more entertainment on their mobile devices. According to BTC Senior Manager for Public Relations, Jerome Sawyer, bringing 4G to the Northern Islands will boost business and visitor satisfaction, as well as aiding in education. Next up for 4G, Abaco and more parts of Exuma. In international business, Spanish shares have fallen and the interest rate on the country's benchmark 10-year bond has risen amid fresh worries over the banking sector. The IBEX market fell by 3% and bond yields rose above 6%. Remember, you can send us an email or join us on www.znsbahamas.com or become our friend on ZNS's official Facebook page.
And that will end tonight's edition of the Business Beat, sponsored by Royal Fidelity. I'm Altaviz Munnings. Thanks so much for watching.
It's time for today's Doctor's Hospital Health Tip. The rotator cuff is comprised of 4 muscles and their tendons that form a cap over the upper end of the arm, around the shoulder area. An injury to this area is most common in adults over the age of 40 and is often caused by sports that may aggravate those muscles, such as swimming or baseball. People whose occupations require heavy overhead lifting, such as stocking shelves, may also be at risk. Shoulder pain and reduced mobility are the most common symptoms. Other symptoms of a rotator cuff tear typically include a gradually worsening pain in the front of the shoulder that may extend down the arm. This pain may increase while doing work. The pain may eventually occur without aggravation to that area and even at rest. If a sudden injury causes the tear, there may be immediate pain and weakness of the arm. Rest and reduced physical activity, use of a sling, medication, and physical therapy may be enough to heal a rotator cuff tear. If these methods don't work, your orthopedist may recommend surgery to repair it.